I'm getting money, you see me. Stack it up to the ceiling. If you're looking for me, you know just where to find me. I'm on a pod with TC, with TC. Oh, I'm on a pod with TC, with TC. I'm getting money, you see me. Stack it up to the ceiling. If you're looking for me, you know just where to find me. I'm on a pod with TC, with TC. Oh, I'm on a pod with TC, with TC.
All right, welcome. This is Financial Literacy with TC. I'm your boy TC. As always, I want to thank you guys for joining me for another episode on the podcast. There's so many podcasts out in the world you could choose to listen to, but you always choose to come back to this one, and I'm so appreciative of that. Today, I'm very excited. We are back at the Forge, Community Forge, and we are here with another phenomenal business owner. Before I get into how amazing this woman is and how much I love and admire what she's doing, I definitely want to remind you guys to like, subscribe, and share to the podcast. Again, the goal is to keep bringing that excellence when it comes to Black representation in our communities. And we have so many people that I want to get in touch with so that they can come on and they can highlight and demonstrate who they are and what they do so we can continue to see our people thrive in our community. But with that being said, I want to introduce Mo Bey. She is the owner of Ghett Customz. Thank you. That always tripped me up. Ghett Customz LLC. She founded it in 2019. She does customized clothing, painting, purses, shoes, you name it. She can customize it. She is phenomenal as an artist. She's a phenomenal mother. She's a vendor. She does jewelry, and she's always at different events throughout the city. You can catch her at the August Wilson Block Party.
Yep.
You can catch her at the
Hill District Arts Festival.
The Hill District Art Festival.
Harambe's.
Yeah, she got a whole list.
Yeah, there you go. Try to keep them, yo.
And she's been doing it for a long time, y'all. And she's phenomenal. So I just want to first thank her for coming on. I appreciate you.
Oh, I appreciate you having me. I'm excited.
And before I, let you, because I always want to give the intro that I give, but then want you to make sure you highlight and toot your own horn. But just so I've known you for a few years now, and you have always been consistent. You've always brought a lot of joy and love to your art, because there's artists out here, but I just always felt different with when you do your art,
because we family,
right?
That's the vibe. Like shoot, once you buy something from me, or even if we make a connection, you invited to the cookout. That's it.
Absolutely. So with all that being said, I want to thank Mo Bey for joining me, y'all, and we about to dive right into it. So like I said, I appreciate you. Definitely take time though, just to hit on something that I may have missed or anything that you think needs to be elevated, or did I do pretty good?
You did pretty good.
Okay,
good.
That's good. So I appreciate you, because I want to jump right into just how you came up with your business and, what was the whole concept? Obviously you were an artist, but kind of the whole brainchild or how it came about.
I've definitely always been creative. I've always written poetry, drew, painted, but I'd say because I had my first child, I got pregnant at 15, I had my first child at 16. So as you can see, real life had a way of, cutting my hobby that I really love, to be a mom.
Right.
So I went right into the working field. And I kind of put it on the back burner until my recent years, 2019. I got with Allard, my fiance. Shout out to Ricky.
Mm-hmm.
But he pushed it. He seen me doodling, because I always kept a sketch pad.
Right.
I always drew, it's still a release for me. So he seen me draw and he was like, "Oh, you're crazy. This is dope." He was like, "Oh, you better go, once he pushed me, he bought me canvases and paints and stuff, and he was just like, this is what you need to be doing."
Right.
So, I was a chef for years.
Oh,
yeah. So I worked as a at the Omni Hotel downtown, Fogo de Chao, Longhorn Steakhouse.
And them some spots.
Yeah, so it's just like I was a chef for it, but I got tired of it. You know, I got tired of being in the kitchen. So 2019 is when I took the leap of faith.
Yeah.
I quit my job. Yeah. And, you know, he's been working. He's been supporting me. Definitely dope. You know, we have our ups and downs, but I was definitely
like
everybody else, but he's the backbone. You know, he's my supporter. So I appreciate him giving me the freedom to spread my wings with the artistry. You know?
Right. No, and that's awesome because a lot of times people don't know the story behind the business owner. Especially, you know, you as an avid vendor. I know for me personally, when I go to these vendor events, I definitely want to know more than just, oh, here's my product.
Right, the backstory.
Yeah, I want to, and a lot of times vendors are not willing to get it. Like, and I get it. Like,
you don't know how many vendors I've worked beside who are just blank.
Right.
You know, it's either or you buying my stuff or leaving.
Right.
Like, no, I love building rapport. I love reaching, you know, I even had to break a couple vendors out of that blank stare. I was like, come on, sis, hey, you know.
Like, I know what it is. Like, I know this is a keychain.
Yeah.
You mixed it, you know, but I need something to pull my heartstrings.
There you go.
You ain't doing it. Like,
you say you ain't doing it
because sister down the street got about the same thing.
Exactly. And but what makes your business stand out?
Correct.
You know,
because and then for truth, and also because I'm an avid, you know, I support small businesses to my heart, and it's like, well, what makes what you got so much different than what she got?
Yeah,
not much, but.
But for real, you gotta.
I support my friends.
Just like you said, I'm not the only artist in Pittsburgh.
Right.
You know, I'm not. There's a lot of people who do exactly what I'm doing, but you gotta stand out.
For sure.
Stand up and stand out. You know, I stand on business. I approve my product. You
For
know?
sure.
So I gotta push it.
Absolutely.
I gotta stand above the crowd. So I try my best to be different.
Right. You know? And that's one thing I want to always give you your flowers for is because, you know, you might be and that's kind of where there's been some arguments lately over the past few years about people vending, and there's like 10 different vendors doing the same thing. But I was like, I mean, you ideally you want to be the sole vendor selling that specific item or product.
But if your style speaks for itself.
Right. But if you're friendly, kind, genuine, and you really can sell you and sell your products,
there you go.
I don't think it should matter.
It don't. Like I'm
and
telling you.
You embody that.
I'm trying to tell you because it's just like I be telling some of my friends, like, you know, you may be one of 1,000 people who sell candles, but try different scents. Wrap your candles in different labels, you know, make it pop, like make it different than all those other people who are selling candles. Like, you know, you can sell just like you said, sell yourself. For sure. Because I'm like, if I get to build a rapport with you, that's going to bridge the gap between you and someone else who's selling the same thing. Like, not, you know what? I love her story. I love what she's trying to do. I know this is what she's doing right now. Maybe, you know, because I ask questions beyond just I'm like, you know, this is for my wife. But you know, what made you think of this when you created it? Like, and they don't be expecting that. So therefore, but you always got to be willing to answer questions. You know, just like anything. If you go to Nike, you want to ask about a tennis shoe, you're expecting a clerk to tell you about the specific shoe that you're buying. Exactly. You know? Yeah, because I'm like, if it was like, if I didn't want that personal feel, bro, online's everything. There you go. Even me, I'm a Temu Sheen shopping, you know? Right. And sometimes I think vendors don't realize that. Yeah. Like, I'm like, bro, you just out here just to be out here. Nah, like, the people, that's going to make the difference whether you have a successful and then you don't even know how many events and stuff that people think that you have to make something every time you get out here and you vend. No, there's been times that I done gave away a whole box of business cards and didn't make $1. Right. You know, but I still made that connection with people. And even if they didn't have it right then and there, they reached out later. Exactly. And I love that because, you know, recently I started vending for the catering stuff that I'm doing. And that's kind of how it, you know, we, you know, made some money, but it was still like giving people samples, like, cause we forget, like, this is a tight knit. Pittsburgh is a big city, but it's not that big as far as, especially in the Black community. There you go. Yeah, it's small. Word get around. You see me like, I'm gonna see you for sure. So I always want to put the best foot forward, and then I always want to make sure that we're leaving the best first impression. There you go. So, cause like you said, they might not get today,
But now,
somebody gonna remember that
gonna
sample.
remember.
You know, like shoot, even I be in Sam's Club and I'm like, ooh, I did taste that. You know, let me try it. You know, it's gonna bring you back.
I love that. So speaking of which, what is the most unique or memorable item that you've ever customized?
You know, it's that's a hard question for me because when I say I put love into everything that I do, you know, I don't really have a favorite. Like I really, even you can ask, you know, Alaric. Sometimes even when I make stuff, I don't want to sell it.
Gotcha.
You know, there's certain things that's like I have a connection with each piece. Sometimes I do little small paintings and stuff like that I can let go, but I would definitely say a lot of my bigger pieces are hard for me to part with because I'm just like, yeah, I did that. You know, like you step back and be like, oh, that's, you know, I did that.
I'm gonna say so. We were recently at a Catapult Sip and Shop. I want to say that was a few months ago. Shout out to Audacity Tours. They ran that one.
Shout out, right? They did that.
And you had, I think, 2 bear paintings. And for me, that is, I think, one of my favorite because it's like, dang, that is unique in itself, and it gravitates toward like young generation and old generation. Because I'm like, I remember back in the day when you had those like different brands that you really didn't know what the brand was, but it was a unique custom art. And that's what I always think of when I see them bears. And for those who don't, we'll have all her social media platforms on the bio in the description, and we'll also have how you can find her if you need some customized items, because those are 2 of my favorite, the bears with the little X and the eye.
What are graffiti bears?
Graffiti bears. Thank you.
My graffiti love bears.
And I was like, those
I feel like
dope.
that pulled out my inner child. You know. And then I got 4 girls. Well, 6 including my bonus babies. You know.
And that's what I liked about it because I feel like that's a painting or something you can buy and give it to any age group.
There you go. Because you don't know how many. You know, I did it originally for the kids, but you don't know how many adults came at them. They're like, oh, I need that.
There's like some nostalgia when I look at it. Like,
no, for real. But it's crazy.
I love that. So the other thing that I enjoyed about that evening, you actually were making your paintings like right there in front of me. Or, you know, it wasn't just me, but, you know, and it was because I don't have artistic bone in my body. I don't think. And you were really like, it was magical to see how
it came together.
I seen 1 or 2 strokes. I'm like, I don't know where she going with this.
You gotta keep
and then it came together. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it was like a rainfall type of like a landscape rain. Like, I mean, I'm terrible at describing art, but
no, but it was like a forest landscape, then the waterfalls coming down. So it was like.
So speaking to that, like, how do you what's the mindset, or how do you just come up with, like, obviously you have a blank canvas, but what is the mindset and the concepts that come to your head to like, or do you just do like the first stroke and then be like, or do you already know? Like,
it depends on what I'm feeling for real, because I go through like, first I think of like, of course, when I'm selling stuff, I go into what's popular.
Gotcha.
You know, what's the main things that people are buying? Like, you know, I take that in consideration.
Right.
And then it's just like what I like painting, of course, you know, because I don't want to mimic nobody else's style.
Correct.
So it's like, you know, I scroll through Facebook, you know, I admire other artists. I get inspiration from them, and then life experiences. Right. You know, so if it's like, man, I just went through this will be a dope painting. Right. Or, you know, like, oh, I just seen this on the news, that will be a dope painting, you know? So it'll be like, I could be anywhere and be like, oh, that sunset's bomb. I'm gonna go home and paint that sunset. Like, that's fire. Absolutely. So, like, you should see my phone. I take random pictures all throughout the day and be like, that would be a dope painting, you know? So it's a little. Yeah.
Now, do you ever, because again, this is definitely, if you're people who aren't artists, it's hard to relate to how. Like, so is there ever a stroke you make that you're like, oh, I messed up?
Oh, you don't know how many paintings. That's why I'm currently running low on paint. Because before y'all even see it, I'm going to fix it.
Gotcha.
So if I paint a painting, you don't know how much white bottles of paint I went through. I wait till it dry and cover the whole canvas.
Gotcha.
So that's why I tell people there's no messing up on art. Right. Like, you know, I can paint something. If I don't like it, I'm going to just go over it with white paint and go over it and, you know, turn it into something else.
Gotcha. Speaking of which, we're fresh off Thanksgiving. And we were both at the Feeding the Village excuse me, Monica, if I'm messing it up. Feeding the Village Thanksgiving celebration.
Yeah.
You were one of the highlighted artists where you auctioned off a painting. So shout out to Monica Johnson, Foxy Friends. She definitely does amazing things.
Yes, she does.
She honored some Pittsburgh legends in the community who are phenomenal. And I say all that because that was inspiring to see you there, supporting a cause that is phenomenal.
Oh man, I love it.
And yeah, just speaking a little bit about.
I try to do a lot of events like that. I've done painting with students, school students. Like I paint with kids. There was a time my daughter's teacher found out I knew she knew how to paint. I actually painted the set for the Frozen. They were doing a play about Frozen.
Nice.
So I helped paint the bed set and the doors stuff for Frozen. So it's like people don't know doing stuff like that will get you more recognized than even sometimes going to the Juneteenth festivals and stuff like that. When your hands are in the community and doing stuff with people, and even not even because I don't look for a profit when I do certain stuff like that.
Love it, yep.
So it's just like I get to engage with people. I love kids, hence why I keep having them. I love kids, so it's just like even at the what was it? We both stumped up when I was doing the live painting about the you seen I let the little girl come up. She was like, "Oh, can I paint with you?" I said, "You sure can." I said, "Watch, you can turn any." So I let her paint the whole background.
Yeah, she did good.
Yeah, she did real good.
And what I love about what you're saying, and couldn't be further from the truth, it was the fact that when you're touching the youth that young and getting them exposed to that, now
right.
Obviously, she might have other aspirations, but you never know that what that day did for her. Now she might be interested in painting.
Yep,
or becoming an artist.
That day I gave her her own canvas. She painted it. She took it home. So it was just like her mom even told me, she was like, she paints all the time at home. I said, well, girl, come on.
I saw her at Nobleman, and first thing I saw, I was like, hey, little Picasso.
Yeah, there you go.
Imagine, she might not even, but she was exposed to it. So now, she might be multi-talented. And a lot of times I get worried when we're dealing with our youth that they're only exposed to it, that school system or a certain parent, they're not getting exposed to a lot of different things.
Right.
And, I think like there's a lot of stuff that I wish I was exposed to at an early age because
who are you telling?
That's how you expand your palette.
I feel like back then the parents were kind of all the same, they were on the same type time, go do something with yourself, go out and play, go find something to do, be back before the street lights came on. They kind of gave us our own little,
I remember that.
But it's just like, I feel like if we were, not all parents were like that, but majority of old school parents were kind of the same way. So it's just like, I just try to do my best with my kids, I want to, what do you want to do?
Right.
We're going to press on that. And then there's a lot of, I give kids the space to feel.
Right.
Like, I feel like, they're people too. Yeah, they're a part of me. They're a part of their dad, but they are their own people. And sometimes I feel like parents forget that.
For sure.
If they want to be an artist, don't ever tell them they can't do something.
Yeah.
If they're 3 years old and telling you they want to be the next a mechanic, why don't you start putting them in fields to show them, let them play with some tools. Let them, don't be afraid. Because kids can handle a lot. I think parents be trying to shelter these kids too much.
Right.
Like, look over in China. Like, these kids
for sure
can build a whole house if they wanted to.
For sure. Then another aspect you hit on is, so me personally, when it comes to financial literacy, a lot of times I'll go into the schools and I'm not being paid to do that.
Yeah.
But for me, it's bigger than just getting paid for an hour and a half. I'd rather, hey, you know what? Y'all want me to come in and talk budgeting with the kids?
But they will remember you for that.
For sure.
So it's just like, oh, do you remember Tyler came in and talked to me? Like, oh, he was super dope.
And my business is client-based, so I don't care what their age is. As soon as they turn 18, 19, 20, 20.
But there is never, it's never too early to start working on your
credit. And for me, that's what fills my soul is when, I'll see them at another time, like maybe a month, 2-3 months later, and I'll be like, oh, I remember we spoke. And then now it's like, now we're building that relationship to where,
there you go.
It might not have clicked for them that day, but
they might be reaching out and digging into you later on in life. So it's just like, never be afraid to expose your kids to, people sometimes they say, oh, this is adult stuff. It's not though. Like, as long as it's not negative and it's a positive, message, you should be more willing instead of TikTok. You already expose them to
Exactly.
the internet. That's the worst thing.
And
you
second
can
of
expose
all,
them to.
it can't be too early for something that they're gonna have to deal with for the rest
There
of their
you
life.
go. Some
Especially
real
money.
life experiences.
Money ain't right now. It ain't going nowhere. So.
There you go.
Shoot, they might not get it at that young age.
But all you got to do is keep bringing it up, keep putting it in their face.
Yep.
Like, just like Miss Rachel and all this stuff that you keep, putting them in front of.
Your kid should not be 18 just now learning about.
Oh man, no.
Come on now.
Yeah, no. With my son, he'll be 15, and when I tell you, I've been on his financial portfolio for the past 5 years. It's not even funny.
Absolutely,
like
I love it. So speaking of which, how do you juggle entrepreneurship, being artistic, and being a mom? Because obviously it's not easy.
It is,
but if I have to give you your flowers, the outside world would never know. So just a little bit how that works for you.
So first off, I have 5 kids. I have 4 girls and 1 boy.
Gotcha.
And I have 3 stepkids. They are 2 girls and 1 boy. So 6 girls altogether and 2 boys.
Gotcha.
I'm very passionate when it comes to my kids. And it's just like, I felt like when I was younger, my mom and them, just like I told you, like, go do something, go find something to do. It's never like, this is what this is, this is what this is. Like, no, I'm not discrediting my mom. They do the best that they can do, but it's just like, I always try to show my kids the hustle.
Right.
Like, so when I'm out there vending, you can best. That's why a lot of my clientele knows me. Oh, she always got her kids with her. Like, absolutely. She always hustling with her kids. It is extremely hard. It is. You have to have patience.
Right.
You're going to have probably more bad days than good days, but it's just like having the consistency to stick with your kids through the ups and downs. Like, they will eventually follow suit.
Right.
That's my best advice, is to stay consistent, keep the love in the room.
Right.
Even if you're frustrated, don't project that on your kids. Always try. When I say this, try to be positive, but we're human. Even when I'm feeling frustrated, I communicate that with my kids.
Right.
Like, I'm having a day. Could you guys give me my space? I feel like a lot of people don't have the communication. They're just like, go find something to do or throw a tablet at them. I'm like, no.
Right. Oh, that's a slippery slope.
There you go. So it's just like, I try to be involved, go to their schools, and if I'm angry and I'm not having a good day, I say that. Right. If I'm sad or if I want to cry, I expose my kids to those emotions because we are.
And honestly, that's teaching them a lot. Because at some point in time, they're going to have the same feelings and they're going to need to know how to handle
how to navigate. It's okay to cry. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to be nervous. It's okay to get hurt, to tell someone that your feelings are hurt. It's okay to express yourself. Like, you do not have to, push that down for no one. Like, I just want my kids. It's not what you say, it's how you say it.
For sure. No, and I love that because for me, I look at it, there's pros and cons to everything.
Yeah.
And the fact that you're, I would say, one of the pros, and you can let me know if I'm on base with this, but having them exposed to how you navigate your business will give them the inside scoop and track to entrepreneurship. Because we got there's young entrepreneurs out there now and youth programs, making money. And now, because a lot of times I was going back to our childhood, weren't exposed to being an entrepreneur or being exposed to being able to navigate a business. It was strictly go to school or get ready to go into the workforce.
Or do what they say, come in and do these chores. It was pretty much, the same thing every single day. Like, I went to church with my grandma, if it was, I really, we had free time, but it was like, it really wasn't structured. Again, it was just like find something to do until I tell y'all to come back in the house. But I always try to have something for my kids to do. I have books on top of books on top of books. If they're doing too much running around, okay, now it's time to calm down. Read a book. Let's find something to do. I'm not going to have y'all having too much time on your hands because, that's when kids get curious. That's when they try to get into stuff. So that's definitely some advice that I use with my kids. You can't let them run rampant. You can't let them get into too much stuff. And if they're curious about something, have them talk to you about it. So you can explain why it's either good, that this is a good curiosity or a bad curiosity. So communication, communication in the house is really how I navigate and juggle everything. I'm 1,000% honest with my kids, no matter how old they are, from the 2-year-old to the 15-year-old. No, you got to be blunt. You got to be honest because this world ain't soft.
For sure.
It's not gentle.
For sure. So we've gone over a lot. One thing I wanted to get, I guess, some information from you because I was on your website. I've been checking out. I was like, oh, the shoes, the purses, all the different custom stuff. Just talk a little bit about what that whole structure of, say somebody hits you up, say, hey, I got these custom white forces, or I got this bag that I want to have, what, like, just how does that go? Like,
well, I'm actually trying to calm it down because I wear so many hats. It is not even funny. Like, okay. I'm just so interested in everything. I'm interested in crocheting, making jewelry. So sometimes I try to categorize, what I'm doing at that moment. But if you hit me like, oh, I want some custom sneakers. First off, my Facebook is Morisha Moore.
Yes.
On Facebook. Mo _Ghett Customz LLC on Instagram. That's MOE _GHETTCUSTOMS LLC at Instagram.
Yep.
And I think I'm because I just started really getting heavy with my TikTok. It's Mo Bey on TikTok.
Yep. And we're gonna have every link in the description under the episode. So.
Yeah. So I try to I pass out thousands of business cards. My phone number 412-509-6260.
Yes.
Gmail richbaby14@gmail.com.
I love it.
I'm open. I welcome all business. I welcome even if you hit me just for an inquiry. I love talking to customers. Don't be anxious like you have to spend money with me. I like hearing people's creative vision.
Yes.
Like, it gives me ideas. Like, even if you don't purchase something right then and there, I get excited. Yeah. It's like, oh, you were even interested, just like you said, there's all these artists in Pittsburgh and you decided to hop in my DM.
Absolutely.
Period. Like I'm appreciative with that.
That's why I love, again, going back to you being an amazing vendor, because I've dealt with some awful ones. I've dealt with some bad ones. And you have always been consistent, friendly, and like it felt like you just got it. So actually that leads me up to a question. How did you develop your process or operations when you were vending? Like, did you take any classes or did you just this is just who I am?
Yeah,
and I
is, man. It's just
because some people need coached on how to be a better vendor.
Like I said, I done ran into some vendors, boy. Yeah. They make you like, geez, I'm like, bro, you got something that's like, I'm glad I ain't like that. And it's like you got some like, man, she was dope. I gotta be more like that.
Right.
So it's just like it's experiences. I've had horrible vending days.
Okay.
And I've had amazing vending days.
Right.
So it's like you really got to find a balance because if this is what you want to do, this is what you want to do. Just like if you're a clerk at McDonald's, be the best McDonald's clerk that you can be. If you're a garbage man, be the best garbage man that you can be because this is what you're doing every day.
Right.
I quit my job to do this.
Yeah. And that's not easy.
It's not easy. I had a financial shift and everything. So why wouldn't I put I got mouths to feed.
Absolutely.
So it's like I'm going to put my best foot forward every single day to make, just like I said, I'm not even for the right now money. I'm excited about the future money.
Right.
Because I'm a millionaire. It just didn't get deposited into my bank account yet. That's my
I love
attitude.
the mindset for sure.
So it's coming. I ain't worried about, making sales all the time. Like I'm definitely for the connections because you don't know how many times that I've gotten vendor events for free because people just mess with me and they want me in the room. So it's like, I done had so many people cut the vendor's fee just so I can just be there.
Absolutely.
So it's just like, it's a beautiful thing.
And I love that you said that and shared that because a lot of times these vendors forget that it's about relationships.
Yeah.
Like
it's not what you know, it's who you know.
For sure. And now you consistently every year you're at all the biggest events.
Yeah.
And I think you got, if I'm not mistaken, you have the August Wilson event this Saturday, the 14th.
What is it? The holiday market. The community holiday market.
Yeah, they do that every year.
Come check me out, August Wilson Center on it's the 14th from 12 to 4. Come get you some discounted paintings and jewelry. Everything's on sale. It's the end of the year. I'm letting stuff go. So come check your girl out.
For sure. And actually, that's a great segue because you did recently a blowout sale. I want to say maybe in October, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Are you going to be doing more things like that?
Yeah. I'm definitely, I'm always trying to do stuff like that. Just like I said, it's not about, a lot of these, because art can get to it.
Yeah.
Like, there's people out there, $1,000 a painting, but it's like, I get it, but I more or less, I just want my art in your house.
Right.
You know, I want my pieces in your house. So you could say like, yeah, Mo did that. So when I do get big, you know, you got you an original piece. I'm not really worried about it. It's just more the connections. I feel good knowing that you have, regardless if it's, you feel like it's worth $1 million away. You know, the goal for me is just to have my art spread all around Pittsburgh.
For sure. No, and I love that. So another event we were at was, I want to say it was Greenwood Plans Business Week conference.
Yeah.
Shout out to Greenwood. And I think I got my wife earrings that day. Okay, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I do a lot, so I be forgetting.
Right. Look, you and me both. Yeah. Like, between kids' schedules and work schedules, I feel you.
And that is, I think, a place where we can definitely start to see, or I'm gonna inquire about seeing more of your art and more of your pieces, because again, they do a phenomenal job, from Black artists, making sure that
they definitely showed me some love. Yeah, so I was very appreciative.
For sure.
Even caught I think I got a couple of people's business cards that help with as far as networking, making as far as the digital platform. Like I had ran into some people who help with your website and stuff like that and marketing. So I've definitely, they got me excited.
Yeah. Now, and I kind of want to ask this question to you, because you're someone who pours into your business, and I was kind of like taken back, because I'm like, man, all these vendors that be showing up to all these block parties and things of that nature, community days, why aren't they at this business conference in buses and van? Like, why isn't it more packed? And so I kind of been like, going into 2025, my mission is to make sure that these business owners are more enticed to start to pour into their business, get these resources and connections that's out here.
I feel like people are gatekeepers sometimes. Okay. You know, I feel like a lot of these vendors aren't informed.
Yeah.
You know, that has to go with it. And I feel like a lot of people are, they're not looking either. You know, it's not even so much for people who are gatekeeping, because there are some people who be trying to gatekeep. Yeah. But there's a lot of people out here who just are stuck.
Right.
You know, if it's not the same, you know, what is it? Insanity. Doing the same thing every day, expecting a different outcome. You got to step outside your box.
Right.
You know, every single year I'm looking into what's a better way to, you know, get more customers.
Absolutely.
Like who can I touch bases with today? Like, you know, new customers, new people. You know, so it's just like, I feel like
because it's a numbers game for sure.
Yeah. So I feel like people try to stay in the same bubble, but you're not going to get nowhere staying in the same bubble.
Right, for sure. And honestly, I love that you made that correlation, because for me, it's like in finances, you know, you definitely have to be going through the numbers, setting time aside to say, all right, you know, I did this many vendor events.
Yes.
This was the outcome. Because at the end of the day, if you're doing this, again, most times you're doing it for money. You started your business for money. But no one said that had to be the end all be all. Because you can definitely, like you said, you can strategize to do things for free. So that way that builds your clientele base. But just not doing, like you said, insanity, doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. So
you got to branch out. That's my biggest thing too. Like, I love people. Like, even when, you know, people have bad days, you know, so you're not going to get the happiest of customers every single time, but you got to look past that. Like, you know, that person's having a bad day. I'm not going to, you know, take that on the chin and make it say like, you know, forget all my customers. Like, no, like, I love people and genuine, like, you know.
Again, pouring into yourself, because if you just fly off the handle based off one customer, you know, that's going to set a how you handle that situation is going to be very indicative about how you are. And a lot of times I get so annoyed when business owners don't realize that they are a representation of their business.
Right.
So granted, you know, when you're not clocked in or you're not doing your business, you are still being looked at as, oh, this is how they operate.
Right. And then look, you don't even know how many people outside the vending events, excuse me, they see me at the gas station. I was pumping my gas one day, and the dude, I'm telling you, I did not know this man from a can of paint. He walked to me like, yo, you're Mo, right?
Yep.
Oh man, you do the dopest, or, you know, gave me the biggest compliment. Absolutely. And I felt so good.
Right.
And he kept it pushing. He didn't want to buy nothing. He just gave me a genuine compliment.
And that means the world. Yeah, for sure. Yep.
Man,
same. That happens to me all the time.
Yeah, so that was dope.
I just be out, you know, pumping gas or going to the store, and somebody be like, because I think I was out North Hills at the Sam's Club one time, and
I still
they-
seeing people
yeah.
at the Sam's. Sam's is like the Costco's and Sam's.
Yeah, so I just always, I mean, you don't have to be phony or fake, but just being cognizant of how you respond to certain situations can really, you know,
Yeah.
hinder an opportunity that may be around the corner. So
Most definitely.
all right, so let's get into future goals with your business, because I know you're continuing to be out here in these streets doing your things. What's the next steps if like
The next
even
step
if
for
you
me-
don't, like maybe a year from now, like however far out you've thought?
Definitely, like I said, I'm gonna still keep beating up these streets
Gotcha.
because you know the hustle don't stop.
For sure.
So regardless, if anything, I'm trying to elevate, and you know, I want to do one point in time New York Fashion Week.
Ooh,
Like that's one of my I ain't never heard. I don't know if you ever heard of the Black Boy art shows.
I've not.
That be in Memphis and
Okay.
Philly, like you know, around them. Like
Yeah.
Black Boy art shows are amazing.
Okay.
Like when I say it's a room full of dope artists who
Yeah.
you know just live painting. I'm talking about the most detail. I love it there. That's like one of my goals.
Okay.
What's it called? Just any, you know, branching out of
Yeah.
PA. You know, I've been staying in PA. I feel like I gotta start traveling and letting people
Got
see
you.
who I am because just like I said before, you can't stay in the bubble.
Right.
You know, like I love PA. This is my
Yeah.
heart and soul. Like, you know, but
Yep.
you can always come back.
And honestly, I love that you shared that because I feel like you're already on your path. Because you're tapped in with Crystal Wamalawa. Shout out to her, who has Audacity Tours, which is the goal is to have Black artists being exposed, not just in their specific city, but many cities around the
Right.
country. So
I even told her like, oh, I want to travel with you.
for
Like,
sure, yeah.
Like I'm trying
Likewise,
to get on the tour.
because I'm still her community partner for Pittsburgh, and so you know, anytime I come across new artists or people who I think you know should be tapped in with her, I try to make sure. But you guys have a phenomenal relationship, and I'm excited to see.
And then I met her through the Hill District Arts Festival.
Yeah,
she walked up to my table, and I was just like, "Oh, hey," you know. And that's the first thing she said. She's like, "I just love your energy," and I'm like, "Yeah,
oh, for sure, it's contagious. Like
it's
meeting you from like that's kind of how we met. It might have been
Swear.
different years, but we met the same.
Yeah, but I was just like, "Oh, you're family."
Yeah,
like, "Oh, cousin, that's what you are." I don't even care if you don't want to get adopted.
And honestly, I think what separates you is obviously your personality, but it's, you know, you're doing your setup and then your ability to be like, your art stands out amongst anybody else at any festival, I believe.
Yeah, because it's like you gotta strive. I'm telling you, like, and then I look around at that too. It's just like, you know, if I see my stuff falling into somebody else's style, I'll switch it up.
Okay.
You know, I'll switch it up. I love 3-dimensional art. Like I love art that you can touch, you can feel, it'll grab out of you. You know, I pride myself on looking different.
Right.
I don't want to be doing the same stuff as somebody else. It may look a little bit similar, but I always try to go the extra mile to be different.
Right.
Like, you know, oh, everybody's doing this square canvas. You know, I want to add 4 canvases to one.
Right.
So, you know, make it taller, make it bigger, you know. So it's just like you always gotta, you know, there's always competition. You know, there's secret competition in the art world. You know, everybody tries to be better than the next, but it's all love. I never hate on the next artist. I'm more disciplined on myself to make myself different. You know, like
I love that because I feel like having that approach and that mindset, what blessings are for you is going to be for you, regardless of what anybody else is doing.
Exactly.
So, and that's the mindset I try to keep too. Like,
but
I don't need to hate on nobody or be
jealous. There's
or,
enough money for everybody. There's enough connections for everybody. Like we don't gotta have the crabs in a barrel type of mindset. Like there is enough love. There is, trust me, people, if they gonna buy from you, there's people I know consistently who wait and save their money just to go to vendors events so they can support all the people that they want. And
honestly, I love that because that'd be my mind. I'm like, yo, if I did not put myself on a budget, I literally would be buying from everybody. And then my wife looking at me sideways because I done spent
I would legit make money and then have to really give my wallet away because I would spend it. I love candles. I love henna. There's so much stuff around me that I love that I will invest in because it's what I like to do.
Now, what I've started doing is, so I'll go to vending events and I'll have my limit. Maybe it might be $50. Sometimes it's $100. It really just depends. But the goal is I like to go around everybody first.
Give everybody a little
and I always start with my friends. So that way, if I know what, obviously if I know, I know a lot of vendors. So if I know, I say what's up, I see it. But, I make sure, if it's something new or something that I, think my wife will definitely like, I start with my friends first because I built that relationship and rapport.
Yeah, but it's just like, even if they don't have something that you don't want to purchase, it's still all love. I try to make sure it's always that. Like, I'm not going to nail someone to the cross because I know vendors who are like, oh, you ain't going to buy nothing from me. You ain't going, it's not that real.
I'm like, bro, you realize you had every vendor that I bought from you last time. And I'm like, and second of all, I try to go and meet new vendors.
There you go.
If I don't, and one, at the very least, I try to get their business card and I try to follow them on social media so that way I can share their platform.
Listen, love comes in all shapes and support comes in all shapes and forms. Like, sharing my stuff, I appreciate it. I get, people look at that. They can follow me. I got follows, I appreciate all of that.
Sure. Just the other day, I did the little 3 dots on your page to try to get them likes. There you go. Like,
oh man,
that's simple.
There you go. That's
like everybody think supporting somebody is monetary all the time. Like, no.
No, man, I appreciate anything. Sharing my posts, liking my stuff, getting new follows. Like, I'm geeked. I'm at home doing the dance. Like, what? I got 4 follows today. What?
Right. I love it. Yep. So I'm gonna get you out of here on this one. How difficult? And I start with difficult because I never wanted it perceived that, it's easy being a business owner, but how difficult or what has been some challenges when it comes to the financial side of running your business and managing a household and everything else that you do? Because I know for me, it's been over these past 6 months, it's been a different experience managing not just one business, but multiple businesses and personal finances.
And definitely with it being around the holidays too, and birthdays, and just like you said, with it just comes with discipline. Like I am very disciplined on what I spend money on, what I allow my kids to spend money on. Certain things that I like to do, like I don't get my nails done. I just prioritize certain things, when it comes to the holidays, because all my kids' birthdays around the holidays too. Ooh, so it's like, I'm not going to sit here and buy myself 3 pairs of shoes this month, knowing that I got to pay bills. My daughter needs stuff. My son needs stuff. Like, I'm not going to do it. It's just prioritizing, having a financial discipline to say no to going out to eat, saying no to ordering out pizza and stuff like that. You got to say no. Some people live beyond their means. For sure. And it's just like, I'm not with that. So I love thrifting. I love going to the red, white, and blue store. I take my kids to the Goodwill.
And with your artistic skills, you can hook some shit
I take my kids to the free stores. It keeps them humble. It makes them appreciate stuff like that. Like, even put the bills even in front of my kids sometimes. Like, this is nothing y'all have to worry about, but I want you
they should at least know.
Yeah, I want you to know what I have to do and what all has to come in. And I tell my kids all the time, when I go shopping, I'll do it half and half. Like, I'll take care of half my kids first and then half of the other kids later. Like, whoever needs stuff more, I put them to the front. And then whoever got it, like.
And and I love that you shared that because I've been doing, I've been on a crusade trying to get into these schools and talk to, the young high schoolers about getting prepared for the the biggest financial decisions that are coming up in their life, which is getting a car, going to college, saving, all that. And one of the things that a lot of times, because I ask a lot of questions to get some insight into where they're at on their financial journey. And a lot of times I ask them, have y'all sat down with your parents and had discussions about what their finances look like? Right. And unfortunately, that answers maybe one student out of a hands full of 30.
Because I feel like these parents are more like, mind your business.
Right. And I'm like, and then they need that's setting them up for a failure.
Yeah. And then not even that, they start worrying about other things that are not important. Right. When you keep them blind to what their adult responsibilities are, like, no, I opened the door, like my son, I told him, we're looking into income-based housing as soon as you get out of high school because it'll be easier for you to manage your
And I'm not
rent.
saying don't let a kid be a kid, and especially if they're in sports, I'm not saying you have to deprive them of any of that, but understanding that at certain age groups, it's pivotal the earlier on they understand what it's going to do to impact their adulthood, their you know what I mean? why not give them? I'm not saying they have to be like.
And do you know what I hate about parents? It's like, when do you stop letting a kid be a kid? Like, what is the?
Yeah, I don't think there's a.
I don't get that, because at the end of the day, the way, no matter how young my kids are, I give them responsibility, because no matter what, that is preparation for the future. You don't want to wait until they're 16 years old to start giving them responsibility. It's a no.
Right.
It can start as soon as they start comprehending. Is as soon as you should start opening the door for them to read in books, or how-to books, like how to change a tire. How there is no early, you could have let them enjoy being a kid, but don't let it get to the point where they feel like they need a vacation every other week.
Right.
They need.
They're void of responsibility.
Yeah, no, life isn't like that. I don't even get to go out to eat every single day. I don't get to get my nails done every day.
For sure. And I present it to them in this manner, like, at the end of the day, you're doing a lot of things you're doing for a specific reason.
Right.
You're going to school to get an education. Because society dictates that having a better education prepares you to be able to make a certain amount of money.
Right.
And understanding that, if you're going to be doing a job or a career or something, it should be something you love. And it should be something that's going to allow you to have the financial freedom that you want. Most times everybody's trying to get an education, have it paid for. Everybody's trying to have the nice car. Everybody's trying to have a nice house.
But that's the ultimate goal. You said it, is to have financial freedom. Like, because at the end of the day, I be trying to tell my kids, the money you're spending is my money.
For sure.
It is not your money. When you get out of high school, you're going to be looking to me like, no, I've done my job. Like, now you have to learn how to juggle. This is my money you have been spending. This is not our money.
Right.
Like, if I were to get rich right now, this is my money.
Right.
You still have to be able to make your own, be financial.
You'll know yours when your name's on that check or that direct deposit.
But you got to keep reminding these kids, because they'll be like, oh, I want this, I want that. No, we're not getting into
given, not earned.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you got to put in the same amount of hard work that I done put in.
For sure. And I just think there's a fine line for it all. Like, but for you to just take the approach like, oh no, we're not gonna. And I'm like, again, we talk about generational wealth gap.
There you go.
Our white counterparts. I'm not in no households, but I'm pretty sure these conversations are being had damn near way before 8, 9, 10 years old.
But in the brown community, I feel like it's just like kids feel like, because of the generational trauma and everything that everybody's been going through, we're always trying to provide for our kids better than what our parents provided for us. But what we're forgetting is they still have to go through stuff to understand, to have the life experiences.
Can't be sheltered from everything.
Yeah, when you shelter them too much, they're literally going to be in shell shock when they get out into this real world. They're not even going to know what to do, because they're like, oh, my mom got me. Yeah. My dad got me. I ain't got to worry about this. They going to bail me out. No, I'm not.
It's a dangerous thing.
There you go. You say you playing a game.
Yep. But is there anything else you want to leave for our audience?
Oh, man, just keep being great, man. Never stop trying. Never stop trying. I mean, it seems like the whole world right now is depressed. I feel like mental health is big. You find something that you love and stick with it. Enjoy the small things. Don't keep being stressed over stuff that you cannot control. Right. Like, let life be life, and let life be life, and until that time pass. Love the people around you, because tomorrow's not promised. Just enjoy the little things in life. Like, we are literally overly stressed, overly depressed. Like, just love. Push the love aspect. Like, love everybody and everything that you do.
Hey, and with that being said, this is Mo Bey. Make sure you check her out at any of the vendor events that she'll be at. If you need something customized, if you need any corporate companies that need some nice paintings in the office, definitely hit her up. Like I said, all her social media tags will be at the description and the link below. Definitely make sure you hit her up. And again, I want to thank you guys for joining us on Financial Literacy with TC. Like, subscribe, and share, and we will see you on the next episode. We out.
I'm getting money, you see me. Stack it up to the ceiling. If you're looking for me, you know just where to find me. I'm on a pod with TC, Oh, I'm on a pod with TC,